I'm pleased to welcome Barb Cook to the microphone here at the Blurb. And Barb, why are you here today?
Oh, thank you, Bernard. Well, about 20 years ago, I wrote a book, and the book was really written only for my own therapy, I suppose, and it was after quite a big upheaval in my life. And I found I was just waking up in the middle of the night, just words coming out on the page. And I kept on sitting down writing whenever I was prompted to write. And then eventually out came this fantasy story. And it seemed to be a fantasy story based on my issues, but it had come out in more of an abstract form. And I found that it really helped to put things into perspective for me and helped me see the patterns and things that had happened. And I just tucked it away in the wardrobe and put it up there thinking, oh, well, that's it, don't need to look at that again. And it was only recently when I've had another big upheaval in my life as well, and I seemed to see things in a mirror, and these things that I saw in a mirror made me have a look at this manuscript again, and I got it down. I thought, oh man, I've just seen all that happen again in a different form. So I read through it and I thought, oh, I've just got to share this. I had this strong instinct just to share it and put it out there. So I decided to self-publish, and I'm going through that process at the moment. I'm up to about the stage where it's gone backwards and forwards with editing, and it's up to the stage where I'm just about to send the final edit and see what happens with it. And once they receive it, then they start designing the cover and putting it out and getting into worldwide distribution.
So Barb, but you were saying before that you'd already done some writing for yourself.
Yes, yeah,
So,
that had been sort of like an embryonic manuscript,
Yes.
really. So once I got it down, I thought it's all there, what I was seeing, but I needed to do some more work on it. So I was working on it for over a few months, just editing it and re-putting in things that had occurred to me over the time and rewriting it in different ways.
So it is, and again, the choice, some people will write, and I asked you off air, a memoir. Is it somewhat, what's the word, symbolic? Is it a symbolic sort of memoir? Is it?
Well, let me see.
I'm not a psychoanalyst, Barb.
Yeah.
So
No, I guess it's based on a lot of the things in my life, but it's also based on other lives that I've observed or maybe imagined. So let me tell you what it's about.
Good.
Okay, you ready?
Thank you.
The first part of the book opens with the soul going, so it's a fantasy story. The soul goes into the waiting room, and out comes dear old Lee and Joe. Now, they're the consultants. And there's a lengthy consultation with these two, where the soul gets to choose what placement she'll have in this lifetime, or he or she will have, in order to learn the lessons they need to learn. There's a middle section about gestation and birth, very short. And then the last section is the little 4.5-year-old child, and this is written with the child's voice, and she finds her way into this magical corner shop that nobody's ever really noticed before. And in she goes, and here's the kindly little old lady called Mrs. Mills. And Mrs. Mills talks the little one through all the protective behaviours that she's going to need in order to get herself through childhood.
So when you say it's a journey of a soul, I don't mean Catholic or Christian or evangelic or something, but it's sort of a spiritual
It's definitely
journey.
Spiritual journey. So I guess if anyone were to find it on the shelves of a bookshelf, it'd go under the heading of personal growth, self-awareness, and definitely spiritual growth as well. So for me, I guess this part of this process now is me committing to my own spiritual journey, and as well as being able to put myself out there and go, right, this is my whole truth.
Fowler was an American moral thinker who picked up Piaget's stages of psychological growth and learning and applied them to moral philosophy, and other people have said, well, maybe our quote-unquote belief system goes through those stages too.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Gosh, I know many people who are, in the church, and they're praying. They've been praying for years, and they've been operating under this belief that you just let go, and God will take over and will guide you. And it's the same thing that I'm discovering now, is that if I can just surrender my little mind that I think's been running the show all this time, and you'll meet this mind in the book. If I can let go of that, then something else comes in and guides me in a much more holistic way.
Well, I think mine's part of my problem too. But we're not getting heavy. We're getting interesting.
Yeah, I don't think we need to put a judgment on it. That word heavy, people put a judgment on that when they say, don't get too deep, da-da-da-da-da.
Oh,
but it's just a self-awareness type of thing.
But Australians, we're terrified of getting intimate, aren't we? We're terrified of even intellectual intimacy. I think we are, especially
it's
the
an
males.
Intimacy with ourselves, with our deeper selves. So this blog that I'm writing on my website, my website's called barbaracookauthor.com.
Yes, very easy. Even Bernard remembers barbaracookauthor.com.
So if you get on there, you'll be able to follow the blog. And it's like, as I say to people, it's like I'm welcoming you into my inner world. Like you're not going to read anything on that blog about what I put on my face or what clothes I'm wearing. Not going to read that, but you will read about my inner thoughts. So if you've ever tormented yourself with self-doubt and all those kind of things, well, come on in and join the club and you can join me on the ride.
So, Barb, where to from now? Tell us,
give
us a little bit of the timeline again.
Okay, so...
my guest is Barbara Cook, who's talking about her current writing project.
Yeah. Did I ever get around to telling what it's called?
No. Well, I probably didn't let you. I was probably rabbiting on as usual.
No, we both were. The book is going to be called Good Choice, A Soul's Story. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be launched around about November, I would say.
And we'll keep people posted up until then.
Oh, that's very kind of you. And apparently you're going to have me back closer to the
I'll have you back, Barb, definitely.
Awesome. So in the meantime, you can actually follow the process, and I'm sure a lot of people who've self-published may have gone through this same process as myself. Like, it feels like I've jumped off a cliff and I'm flying in midair. I don't know what's going to happen. It could be anything on the scale from, the J.K. Rowling of self-help books to the one that sold 25 copies, and 3 of those were to my mum.
So thanks, Barb, and all the best, and congratulations on being brave enough to do it, and we look forward to reading it, and we'll have to get you early November because I'm taking off. We're actually Helen and I are having about 6 weeks holiday in November, December.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, good, Barb.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.